Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, starseed astrologer and spiritual messenger from sacredsoulempowerment.com. Here to do your weekly angel card reading for Monday, November 19th through Sunday, November 25th, 2018. For this week's weekly reading, we'll be using the Fairy Tarot deck by Radley Valentine for the main message for everyone. And your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, will be coming from the Crystal Angels Divination deck. So just a reminder that if you haven't already watched the monthly angel card reading for the month of November, it is up on my channel under Colleen Lemma. And you might want to see what the whole month has in store as a general overview, numerologically speaking, astrologically speaking, as well as a special message from our angels and guides of the highest vibration of light for the whole month. So let's start by looking at your stones of choice for this week. Okay, so the first stone of choice here is a beautiful orange calcite, and this orange calcite actually came from Mexico. And this is going to help to activate the sacral chakra, which is our center of creative self-expression and passion and sexuality. This particular stone helps to get positive energy moving, especially with creative endeavors. It helps us to give more physical energy, and it boosts our vitality, and it helps to heal any kind of sacral chakra or sexuality issues. Okay, and then your second stone of choice is this beautiful piece of selenite. Now, this selenite actually came from Morocco. So the selenite helps to balance the emotional body. It helps to unblock stagnant energy within your energy bodies. It helps with activation and to reach higher planes, higher spiritual planes. It promotes purity and honesty, and it helps to open up the crown chakra to higher divine messages as well as higher consciousness. All right, and then the last stone of choice is this beautiful celestite cluster, and this celestite came from Madagascar. So this is a beautiful, like powdery blue color, light blue color. It's going to activate the throat chakra. This celestite helps to bring harmony, balance, and peace. And with the activation with the throat chakra, of course, this is for speaking, teaching, writing. And, you know, to me, I feel especially drawn to say that for those that are teachers out there, teachers in some shape or form, this might be your stone of choice for the week. Helps to bring trust in the universe. This helps to bring mental clarity. It increases your intuition. It helps with meditation. It helps with like creating or intending your vision for the future, as well as dream work. All right, so your stones of choice again are going to be the orange calcite, the selenite, or the celestite. All right, so let's look at and talk about what the astrology for this week is. Now, again, I mentioned that November is a pivotal month. When I talk about in the monthly angel card reading for the month of November, this has a vibration of, in a way, trusting and taking a leap of faith and new beginnings in some ways. And I just want to remind that last week's weekly reading, we had some important things happening. We had Mars, the planet of energy and action, moving into the spiritual and compassionate sign of Pisces. We had Venus, the planet of love, relationships, money, and finances, turning back to direct motion. And we had Mercury on the same day as Venus turning direct. Mercury, the planet of messages and communication and our thoughts, that was turning to retrograde motion in the sign of Sagittarius. So I just wanted to kind of, again, bring you up to speed from last week's energies, because now as we move into this week, on Monday the 19th, that Mars energy that just moved into Pisces last week is in a challenging aspect to Jupiter, who also recently changed signs, as he went into Sagittarius not too long ago, his ruling sign. Now, again, I said Mars rules energy and action and forward movement. Jupiter likes to expand energies. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, okay? Now, it's also the planet of blessings and abundance and prosperity, but this is a challenging aspect. So with Mars in this sign of Pisces, a water sign, and it's challenging Jupiter in fire sign Sagittarius, I feel like this is going to expand the energies of maybe confusion, because Pisces sometimes has this kind of confusing, ungrounded sort of element. And with Mars being a fire planet and wanting to really move forward and take action, when it's in that sign of Pisces, that water sign, it kind of waters down his forward momentum a little bit. And Pisces might bring this a little bit of, again, this sense of confusion or lack of direction or lack of clarity as far as, you know, which path to take or what direction to go. And Jupiter is just going to expand that energy. Again, Jupiter is going to make things bigger. And so, you know, this might expand our lack of clarity about moving forward. And Jupiter and Sagittarius sometimes can bring a judgmental kind of energy. Sometimes we're judging ourselves. Sometimes we might have very strong opinions and maybe be in a place of judgment with other people or other groups. So I also feel like this could really expand that judgment energy, perhaps with other people in some way, where to me it's partially about our beliefs too. So this is expanding this kind of like judgmental or lack of clarity, confusing kind of belief system structure that we might be holding, whether it be about ourselves, our own life path, or again, someone else in our lives. Now on Thursday, the 22nd, the sun is moving into the sign of Sagittarius. So now we have, you know, Jupiter in Sagittarius, we have Mercury in Sagittarius, and now we have the sun in Sagittarius. So we're starting to move into that time period where things are perhaps, you know, again, there's a lot of things going on, or things are moving faster, which is interesting because Mercury is retrograde. So there might be a lot of, you know, fast movement or fast messages coming in, or a lot of things happening at the same time, but I feel like they're not maybe making a whole lot of sense, or we're not being able to put all the puzzle pieces together. And Sagittarius has a mutable quality to it, and mutable means changeable. And so when I think of all the Sagittarius energy, now again with the sun moving into Sagittarius, I think that we might be changing directions quite a bit, or changing our minds quite a bit, or not being able to focus on, you know, one particular decision or thought for very long. So we're really kind of vacillating and juggling and, you know, lacking some sort of straight, kind of persistent, you know, clear forward movement here. Now on Thursday as well as Friday, the 22nd and 23rd, and this is depending on what part of the world you're in, so depending on what time zone you're in, we're having a full moon at 0 degrees of Gemini. This means the moon is at 0 degrees of Gemini, that's why it's called a full moon, but the sun is at 0 degrees of Sagittarius, the opposite sign. So this full moon at 0 degrees of Gemini is opposing Jupiter, which is also at 0 degrees of Sagittarius, just like the sun is, and also Mercury, which is again retrograde right now, at 0 degrees of Sagittarius. Or close to that, you know, Mercury might be at 1 or 2 here, but during the course of the day, the moon will be moving forward and connecting with that Mercury. Now, let's just talk a minute about Mercury retrograde again, just recapping from last week. You know, Mercury is the planet of communication, our ideas, our thoughts, messages that are, you know, that's coming to us. And while it's retrograde, it can bring miscommunication or missed appointments or travel delays, especially with Jupiter there. Jupiter rules long distance travel, Mercury rules short distance travel. Here we have a full moon, which kind of increases and intensifies the energies. So people's emotions are, you know, on alert or a little bit heightened. Again, and all of these other things with the Mercury retrograde being involved in the mix could bring, again, you know, misinterpretation of what people are saying to us, or again, this judgment energy might come into play. It also, this full moon also is challenging Mars, as we talked about Mars challenging Jupiter on Monday, and it's also challenging Neptune as the moon again moves throughout the day. So with this challenge to both Mars and Neptune, again, it might bring some very interesting, strange, unusual kind of energies, situations, circumstances. Again, things being unclear. things being blown out of proportion, circumstances and situations that are made bigger than they really are, or that they really need to be. And the other thing that's intensifying this full moon at 0 degrees Gemini is that on Saturday, then, the very next day, on the 24th, Neptune is stationing and turning back to direct motion at 13 degrees of Pisces. So, you know, what this is doing is, again, it's intensifying Neptune's energies. So all this week, because Neptune is a slow-moving planet, we're going to feel the effects of Neptune slowing down, coming to a standstill before turning back to direct motion on Saturday. And Neptune is the planet of spiritual, you know, energies. It's the planet of the spiritual realm. So it can heighten and increase our connection to the spiritual realm. It can heighten and increase our connection to our angels and guides and the messages they're giving us. It can increase or intensify our own psychic and intuitive and healing abilities, as that is what Neptune rules. But Neptune also rules confusion, delusion, addiction, things being ungrounded or feeling floaty or lacking clarity. And so all of those things are also going to be intensified. And again, with that full moon and, you know, all of the other aspects that we have going on this week, it might just be, you know, a mixed bag of tricks, let's say. You know, there might be some confusing things happening. So let's go ahead and take a look at what our angels and guides have to say for the week. And you see that there's 4 cards here, and as I often explain to those of you that are with me every week, and for the new people, I usually choose 3 cards for the week. But sometimes when I am shuffling, there's you know, an extra card that falls out of the deck, or sometimes when I'm pulling a card, 2 cards instead of 1 card comes out. So this is why this week we have a total of 4 cards, as when I pulled this last card, 2 cards came out together. So let's go ahead and start here with the first card for the week, and we have a fire card. So I'm not surprised, because Sagittarius, where again Jupiter, Mercury, and the Sun is in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a fire sign. So here we have the King of Spring in this deck, it's called, or the King of Fire, or the King of Wands in the traditional tarot. And the keywords at the top says innovative, inspiring, wise, and theatrical. At the bottom, it actually says a financial windfall, and then it says your leadership skills are needed now, an unexpected supporter of your cause. Okay, so I feel like we're needing to, or we're starting to adopt the qualities of the King of Fire, the King of Wands, the King of Spring here. You know, the King is always a leader. Okay, the King is a leader, and in a fire sign, or in the spring suit here in this deck, it is much more inspiring, much more energetic, much more creative. All of these are key words of fire, or again, the spring energy here. You know, spring is the initiating season, by the way. So this king is an initiating king. In other words, he's trying to make things happen. He's in this energy mode of trying to start something new or ride the wave of new beginnings. And again, going back to, as I mentioned, the monthly angel card reading for the month of November, to me it vibrates to the Fool card in the tarot deck, which is about taking a leap of faith, trusting the universe, and kind of starting on a new path, or starting in this new beginning energy. So it does say a financial windfall. I'm not seeing the astrological aspects necessarily supporting that, although Sagittarius is a very lucky sign. It's the most lucky sign of the zodiac, the most fortunate kind of sign of the zodiac, as far as bringing in blessings of prosperity and abundance, opportunities of different kinds. So, you know, there is still a potential with that full moon that we have this week that there's some sort of blessings that are coming in, and it could be financial, or it could be in the form of an opportunity, or, you know, some support or networking or something else. So just be on the lookout for that. Other than that, I feel again that we're needing to kind of take on the qualities of the King of Spring, the King of Fire. So be confident, be self-assured, you know, take action and start to make things happen. Even though we're in a Mercury retrograde, there's still this sense of, or message of, taking some actions with things. And some of those actions might be, again, networking, you know, making meetings with other people. Really kind of talking up your game, so to speak, and really being, you know, confident and self-assured and when you present yourself out into the world. I really think that those are some of the qualities that is needed right now with that card. Let's take a look at the second card. Okay, we have another spring card. So this is another fire card. And this is the Eight of Spring. It's probably one of the most active energies in the deck, meaning there's a lot of movement with the Eight of Spring. Now the number 8 numerologically is about empowerment. It also is the number of career, life path, destiny path, money, and finances. This to me is meaning that there's a lot going on, a lot happening. Look at all the little sparkles, little light energies that's around this fairy that's going on. The message at the bottom says, stress that comes from having many things happening at once, successful multitasking, and sudden events or changes. So this can bring about some sudden, unexpected redirection of some sort, especially again with all the Sagittarius energy we have. We have again that full moon, which is in Gemini, an air sign. However, Gemini is also mutable, like Sagittarius is mutable, again meaning changeable. And here we have the message at the bottom saying sudden events or changes. So again, be aware and ready for some new surprises. Now, some of these surprises might be very positive. Some of these surprises might be shocking or what we might feel as less than positive. But just be open nonetheless to some sort of changes, redirections, or many things, as it says, happening at once. This is almost like the fairy is juggling all of these little firecracker energies, I want to say. So it's like, pop, there's something over here. Pop, there's something over there. All of a sudden now there's this other situation that comes up out of the blue. So I feel like we're going to be busy in many different areas of our life. They're showing the work life. They're showing the family life. They're showing finances, they're showing new opportunities, they're showing some perhaps unexpected surprises or perhaps even shocking events. So just be open to anything, I feel, with this card. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next card. Okay, we have Major Arcana, number 12. In this deck, it's called Awakening. And the message at the bottom of this card says, change the way you're looking at the situation. Embrace your uniqueness and a temporary pause in the action. You can see the imagery here in this card that there's a fairy hanging upside down here, which is in an aspect of surrender. This fairy is kind of just like it says, in a pause, in a standstill. And it's not necessarily that this could be environmental, to where the energies seem a little stagnant because, again, Venus just turned back to direct motion, but it hasn't picked up speed. Mercury last week just went to retrograde motion and still is moving very slow. Neptune is stationing or at a standstill this week, so it's not moving. So there may actually be a standstill as far as things unfolding. But this also, they're saying, our angels and guides are saying, that this may be us needing to kind of create that standstill. That, again, with this card being that there might be a lot of things going on or needing to be juggled or tended to, that perhaps we need to create this pause. We need to create a standstill. We need to take a time out for ourselves and do some self-care and recollect ourselves and rebalance ourselves. So this could be, again, something that is environmental, that's just happening as far as this pause in action or forward movement, or this could be something that we initiate because we need to for our own well-being, for our own kind of peace, for our own balance and health. I also like that this card is called Awakening. So, it has this aspect of while we're taking this pause, or while we're in a pause energy where nothing seems to be unfolding quickly, or where we need to take a time out, that this is a great time to awaken a higher consciousness or higher perspective in how we're looking at things. Just like it says, change the way you're looking at the situation. So rather than getting all anxious, rather than getting, quote unquote, freaked out about something, rather than getting frustrated or angry about something, again, look at the situation from a different vantage point, a different perspective. This fairy is upside down, so the world looks different upside down than it does right side up. So we may not be seeing something clearly, you know, we may not be seeing all the puzzle pieces yet because they're not all there. So whatever's happening, don't get into a fearful or anxious mode. It doesn't, you know, there's something good that's happening behind the scenes, or that's coming together, or again, pieces of information with Mercury retrograde that we don't know yet that need to still come into our kind of visual, you know, so to speak, metaphorically. And that pretty soon, you know, as the fog lifts, so to speak, or that, you know, as we become right side up again, or we become balanced again, things will start to make a little bit of sense, a little more sense. All right, so let's go ahead. This is the Hanged Man, by the way, in the traditional tarot. I forgot to say that. Major Arcana number 12 is traditionally the Hanged Man. But again, I like this idea of awakening here in this deck. The last card, wow, another Major Arcana. And isn't it interesting that it follows the 12 Major Arcana? It's number 13. And in this deck, it's called Release. Now, in the traditional tarot, this is the Death card. And this is talking about something transitioning. It's talking about a death and rebirth. Again, this is metaphoric, okay? It's about the old needing to fall away so that something new can be kind of in a place of birth, or something, you know, being reborn, so to speak. And that's why it's a death and rebirth card. So at the bottom of this card, it says, let go of the past. An ending that makes way for new opportunities and time to move on. So it's definitely a time, again, the full moon, you know, after the full moon, we're in a waning moon cycle. Waning meaning the moon starts to get smaller and smaller and smaller from our perspective as far as how it's transmitting the light of the sun, right? So the full moon, and then it starts to wane and get smaller. This is a time of releasing. It's a time of letting go. It's a time of purging. It's a time of transmuting what is no longer in our highest and best interest. And it follows, or it came with, the awakening card. So here we're needing to change our perspective, awaken to a new way of seeing something, a situation, a relationship, something within ourselves. And now we're needing to let go of a situation, a relationship, something within ourselves. You know, it could be a belief system, could be, you know, an emotional pattern. But this, again, at the same time that we're releasing, remember that you're awakening to something higher. You're awakening to something greater. All while there's a lot going on, and we're needing to, again, embody that King of Spring, confidence, self-assuredness, taking action. And again, don't fear that the taking action, if it's not producing any results, it soon will. Okay, there's just a pause here. There's just a time period before things start to unfold in a more timely manner. So keep on taking the actions that you need to, making the decisions that you need to, juggling what's coming up in your life, awakening to this higher perspective of looking at things. Balance the masculine and feminine within yourself as you're doing that, which is masculine taking action, feminine surrendering, allowing, being perceptive, and then again release what is no longer in your highest and best interest. All right, so let's take a look at the special message card depending on your stone of choice. So let's give this a little shuffle, and for those of you that chose the orange calcite, asking the crystal angels to show me. The one on the bottom was ready to fall, so we're going to look at that. And that is sapphire. Easy does it. And it says, your health, happiness, and abundance requires a gentle approach to life and work. So to me, this is about having patience, you know. All of these energies, all of the things that are happening, the pause that we talked about, this is about having a little bit of patience. Don't force things, or don't try to force things too much. Yes, take action. Yes, make decisions. But don't try to force something into happening before it's needing to happen, okay? That's why it says easy does it. Kind of take the action and then step back and allow. Let it unfold naturally. Let things, you know, and almost too, they're saying to just kind of step back and look at things again from a higher perspective. Watch how people react, or watch how the energies seem to unfold or not unfold. Maybe they're unfolding in a different direction than you thought based on the action that you took. And that's part of this message too, is just to kind of allow how it unfolds to unfold that way, and to trust that it's unfolding in the proper way. Okay, so again, your health, happiness, and abundance requires a gentle approach to life and in work. This also too has that idea of the higher consciousness or the awakening. We have on this angel here, we have wings that are coming out of the head. So we're here between almost like the ear chakras, the back of the third eye chakra, the crown chakra. So it's awakening again your intuitions, your psychic perceptions. It's awakening to a higher consciousness. It's awakening to connecting to universal energies and guidance and messages. So that's also part of this card for you. All right, for those of you that chose the selenite, okay, let's give this a shuffle and ask for the selenite. And this one keeps drawing my eye, so we're going to choose that for selenite people. Titanium rainbow quartz. And this message says multifaceted. On the bottom it says there are many layers and dimensions to the situation or person that you're asking about. So with the titanium rainbow quartz, and that being a message about something being multifaceted, how it talks about, you know, there's many reasons for that. In other words, the way things are unfolding, or the way that communications are happening, or the way that the changes are unfolding in your life or within yourself, that there's many reasons for that and not just one. You know, one of the reasons might be that it's a karmic rebalancing of your energies from a previous lifetime situation or pattern. And then there's another reason, and another possible reason on top of that could be because, you know, if there's a standstill, that things aren't set up yet to unfold, or that the right people or person hasn't come into play quite yet, or there's missing information that still needs to present itself. And then another reason might be that you're working on your own evolution and growth as far as becoming more confident, becoming more self-assured, you know, becoming more trusting, you know, and the list can go on and on and on. Those are just possibilities, not necessarily that is what is going on for you. But the idea of this being a multifaceted situation is that there's, you know, many reasons for why things are happening the way they're happening. So you can't like just put your finger on one thing and explain it. You know, that's kind of what it's saying. Again, this kind of, to me, has the idea of this Eight of Spring too. If you look at, again, many things happening, many things being juggled, and there's many reasons behind why things are happening. Again, look at the crazy energy and all the different colors and all the different things that are happening. So I feel like there's also a message in here for you with meditation, balance, you know, becoming grounded, doing what you're needing to do to kind of create that sense of balance or focus or groundedness within your life, especially this week. All right, and then for those of you that chose the celestite, let's give this a shuffle. This one is calling my attention for the celestite people. Okay. This is Moldavite. Boy, I haven't seen this card in a while come out. The Moldavite, and the message at the bottom says unconventionality. And it says your unique qualities are an important part of your life purpose. It's okay to feel and be different from others. Now, Moldavite is a very high vibrational stone. It's green in color. It comes from a meteorite, so it's very rare. You know, I mean, there's enough of it out there, but it comes from this asteroid or this meteorite that fell to Earth. So it's concentrated in one area on the planet, and it's, again, a high vibrational stone that works with people with a higher calling and people that have light worker abilities and people that have a mission on this planet. And we all have a mission on this planet. And we're all, you know, all of you, I'm sure, that are watching this video are light workers. You all have special gifts, talents, and abilities. But this is saying that your sense of being different or feeling maybe even like you don't fit in is okay. It's actually what's needed. It's what's needed for you. It's what's needed for the planet. It's what's needed to move forward on your life path. That idea of being unconventional, that idea of being, again, different from others, or having different skills or gifts from others, or again, you know, they're even saying that those of you out there that feel like you don't fit in or feel like you don't belong on this planet, it's not that you don't belong on the planet, but you're probably not necessarily from this planet. You know, you've probably had lifetimes here, but they're saying you're a star person. They're saying you're from another, dimension or another galaxy or, another star system. So again, that's for some of you, to where you're feeling different because you're from another place, and you're, need to recognize that and recognize that as a gift. Recognize that you chose to with those gifts, and that you have this calling again, that you chose to come down here to assist and lead humanity in some way, or bring healing in some way, or bring messages in some way, or whatever your gift is. So honor that, embrace the differentness, embrace the uniqueness that is within you. It's definitely a part of what makes you, you. Okay. Something special about connecting the heart chakra to the third eye chakra in your meditation. So seeing like this energy light that's flowing through the third eye and then through the heart, and then again through the third eye and then through the heart, and it's going round and round, and that's going to connect or uplift or increase, intensify your abilities, your gifts, healing, intuitive, psychic gifts. Okay? All right, so I hope you've all liked this weekly angel card reading. Send you all lots of love and light. I send you all many angel blessings until we come again together next week. Namaste, everyone.